Greetings. This is Brother Eli with another episode of Bible Truth Revealed. Today's teaching is entitled The Truth About Hell. That is, the truth about hell. For thousands of years, Christian pastors have used the threat of burning forever in hell to manipulate the masses into submitting to the authority of the Christian church. Does such a hell really exist, or is this yet another pagan deception? The fact is that this concept of hell is nowhere to be found in the Holy Scriptures, which Christians call the Old Testament. This means that we have no reason to fear an eternity of being tormented in hell forever. In the New World Encyclopedia, under the heading Hell, it says this: in many world religions, the concept of hell refers to a literal, that means an actual physical place that really exists, or symbolic place. So that means it is representing something that is not literal, but is indeed a state of suffering. It continues, or sometimes an existential condition of damnation. So whatever hell is in these religions, it's a state of damnation where the wicked and unrighteous are punished for their transgressions. The concept of hell is prevalent in many religions, although its exact description varies from one religion to another. So many religions believe in some form of hell, but their hell is different. So Christians do not worry about the Hindu hell, just like Hindus don't worry about the Christian hell. Everybody has their own form of hell, and it is used to manipulate the masses so that they could subject themselves to the authority of the particular religion. It continues, in traditional Christianity, Islam, and the popular imagination, hell is frequently depicted as a fiery pit located underground where souls are tormented by their past sins and demonic forces. So this is the hell that's presented by Christianity, by Islam, and the popular imagination, which is referring to on television, in films, in books. These things are pushed. Why? To control the masses. It's always about controlling the masses. And because people are fearful of burning in hell forever, they are easier to control. They're more likely to do what the Christian pastor says, or what the self-appointed authorities say that they need to do in order to avoid burning in hell forever. In the same article, under the subheading Christianity, quote 1 says this: most Christians see hell as the eternal punishment for unrepentant sinners, as well as for the devil and his demons. So most Christians believe that there is this fiery place located underground where those who do not believe in the nonsense of Christianity, along with the devil and his demons, will be punished forever. They'll be burned forever. That is not to be found in the Holy Scriptures. So those of us who believe the Most High and His Word, and we reject the false religion of Christianity with their nonsensical New Testament, we have nothing to fear as regards to hell. Quote number 2 says, various interpretations of the torment of hell exist. In other words, hell can be whatever you want it to be, ranging from fiery pits of wailing sinners to lonely isolation from God's presence. When it comes to Christianity, it doesn't really matter what hell is. What matters is that the followers are afraid of going there, because it's the fear that's used to control the people. Whether they're afraid of burning forever in a fiery pit, or they're afraid of being isolated from the presence of God, it makes them easier to control. And that's the reason that the Christian concept of hell exists. Quote number 3 says, several Christian denominations reject the traditional concept of hell altogether. So not only do Christian pastors, teachers, preachers, priests pick and choose which version of hell they want to use to scare the living daylights out of their followers and to make them submit to their authority, but there are also Christian denominations that reject the concept of hell altogether. So it's completely optional. There are some groups who don't need that threat of hell in order to control their followers, because they have their own control tactics which are very effective. It continues, Seventh-day Adventists and Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in hell, so they do not need to use the fear of hell to control their members, because they have their own ways of doing that. They teach that souls in the grave remain asleep until the final judgment, at which time the righteous will be resurrected to heaven, and the wicked will simply be annihilated. So these people are using the same Bible, but some of them believe that hell is this fiery pit where people will burn forever for not believing in the false god and idol of Christianity. There are others who believe that hell is separation and isolation from God forever, and there are some who don't even bother to believe in hell. Now, what do the Holy Scriptures, also known as the Old Testament, teach us about hell? Like many other words, the word hell has different meanings depending on the context in which it is used in the Holy Scriptures. However, none of these meanings matches the Christian doctrine of eternal torment in a fiery pit under the earth. There's nothing in the Holy Scriptures that says that the devil is going to burn in hell forever, and that people who reject the false god and idol of Christianity will burn in hell forever. That is Christian storytelling. Just like Christianity itself, the Christian concept of hell has nothing to do with the Most High, His chosen people, or the Holy Scriptures. The two most common meanings of hell in the Holy Scriptures are 1. The grave, and 2. A state of suffering. Let's explore each of these in turn. Number 1, hell is the grave. We'll find that in Isaiah chapter 5, verses 11 to 14. That's Isaiah chapter 5, verses 11 to 14. And I will be reading from the Brenton Septuagint translation. It reads thus: Woe to them that rise up in the morning and follow strong drink. So these are drunkards, wine bibbers, people who wake up and the first thing they do is they take a shot of vodka or whiskey. They follow strong drink, who wait at it till the evening. So they spend the entire day drinking till the sun goes down. For the wine shall inflame them. For they drink wine with harp and psaltery and drums and pipes. These people are celebrating and drinking all day. But they regard not the works of the Lord, and consider not the works of his hands. But they disregard all the things that the Most High has done. They do not give him praise, glory, or credit for what he's done. They simply drink and enjoy, but they reject and disregard the Most High God of Israel. Verse 13, therefore, because of this, my people have been taken captive, because they know not the Lord. Those Israelites who spent all their time partying, drinking, celebrating, and disregarding the Most High God caused the people of God to be taken captive. Instead of living righteously and teaching the truth of his word, they were more interested in remaining intoxicated. It continues, and there has been a multitude of dead bodies. So the Most High sent these people into captivity, and a multitude of them were put to death. Dead bodies because of hunger and thirst for water. When the Most High turns his back on his people, we hunger and thirst. We drop dead like flies because we have nothing to eat and nothing to drink. So these people became dead bodies. They literally died. Verse 14. Therefore, hell has enlarged its desire and opened its mouth without ceasing. So this hell has opened itself up to receive this multitude of dead bodies. Where do dead bodies go? Do they go in a fiery pit to be tormented forever? No, because they're dead. You cannot torment a dead body. These dead bodies, which was a result of hunger and thirst, were put in hell, the grave. It continues, and her glorious and great and her rich and pestilent men shall go down into it. The dead bodies of these glorious, great, rich, and pestilent men who are constantly drinking and celebrating and disregarding the Most High God shall go down into hell. They shall be put in the grave because they are dead bodies. There's nothing in the context of this passage that supports the Christian concept of hell. This hell is simply talking about the grave, the place where dead bodies go. Number 2, hell is a state of suffering. Jonah chapter 2 verses 1 to 3 in the Septuagint is the same chapter, but verses 1 to 2 in the KJV. So I'll be reading Jonah chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. It reads thus. Now the Lord had commanded a great whale to swallow up Jonas. And Jonas was in the belly of the whale 3 days and 3 nights. So he was in the belly of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights. Verse 2. And Jonas prayed to the Lord his God out of the belly of the whale. That's where he was. He was in the belly of the whale praying to God and said, I cried in my affliction to the Lord my God, and he hearkened to me, even to my cry out of the belly of hell. The belly of the whale was the belly of hell. He was in a state of suffering. It continues, thou heardest my voice. So the Most High heard the voice of Jonah out of the belly of the whale, out of the belly of hell, in his state of suffering. Many Israelites today are in a state of suffering. We are in hell. Hell is either the grave or a state of suffering. It's the context that lets us know the meaning of the word hell as it is used in the Holy Scriptures. Many Christians claim that Isaiah chapter 66 verse 24 supports the pagan concept of hell that is found in the New Testament of their blasphemous Christian Bibles. This couldn't be further from the truth. Let's explore Isaiah chapter 66 verse 24 in context so I can prove this point. I'll be reading Isaiah chapter 66 verses 15 to 16 and verses 22 to 24. That's Isaiah chapter 66 verses 15 to 16 and verses 22 to 24. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come as fire, and his chariots as a storm, to render his vengeance with wrath, and his rebuke with a flame of fire. For with the fire of the Lord all the earth shall be judged. So this is judgment day. And all flesh with his sword. Many shall be slain by the Lord." Slain means put to death. Many will be killed by the Lord. They will be dead, much like the dead bodies that we read about before. Verse 22. "For as the new heaven and the new earth which I make remain before me, says the Lord, so shall your seed and your name continue. This is for the righteous, because the righteous will not be put to death with the wicked." Verse 23. "And it shall come to pass from month to month, and from Sabbath to Sabbath, that all flesh shall come to worship before me in Jerusalem, says the Lord." This all flesh is referring to those who survive the judgment, those who are not killed, put to death, slain by the Lord, will go to Jerusalem to worship him every single month and every single Sabbath. Verse 24. "And they shall go forth and see the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me." What's the meaning of the word carcass? The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines the word carcass as a dead body, a corpse. The carcasses of the men that have transgressed against the Most High God is referring to those who were slain by the Lord in verse 16. These are dead bodies. It continues, "For their worm shall not die, and their fire shall not be quenched, and they shall be a spectacle to all flesh." Isaiah 66 speaks about the destruction of sinners. However, it does not match the concept of hell or eternal punishment which is taught in Christianity. The Christian hell concept requires sinners to live forever so that they can suffer for all eternity. Isaiah chapter 66 is about death, not eternal torment. Carcasses cannot be tormented. They are already dead. The slain, the dead bodies cannot be tortured the way that the Christian church says that people will be tormented forever for rejecting the false god and idol of Christianity. When the Most High comes to save his people, he will judge all the earth. That's what this chapter is about. The wicked will be put to death, and their carcasses or dead bodies will be gathered in one location. It's a pit of fire, as a spectacle, which is a show or demonstration to those who remain. This spectacle will remind us of the consequences of sin, meaning rebellion against the Most High. But Isaiah chapter 66 verse 24 does not support the pagan concept of hell that is pushed by Christians and their New Testament. Now let's examine another place in the Holy Scriptures which speaks about the destruction of the wicked to show that it does not support the pagan concept of hell that is pushed by Christianity. Malachi chapter 3 verses 19 and 21 in the Septuagint is found in Malachi chapter 4 verses 1 and 3. So I'll be reading Malachi chapter 3 verses 19 and 21 from the Septuagint, and this is Malachi chapter 4 verses 1 and 3 in the Christian KJV. It says, "For behold, a day comes burning as an oven. This is the judgment day, the day of destruction, and it shall consume them." What does the word consume mean? Does it mean that people are going to be burning forever and ever? For all eternity? Is that what consume means? The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines the word consume as to do away with completely. So when the wicked are consumed, they will be done away with completely, destroyed. They will not burn forever and ever, as the Christian concept of hell suggests. It continues, "And all the aliens and all that do wickedly shall be stubble." Stubble means they have been consumed. They have been completely done away with. They have been destroyed. And the day that is coming shall set them on fire. So yes, they will be set on fire, but not forever, saith the Lord Almighty. And there shall not be left of them root or branch. Nothing will be left of them, because they will be consumed, destroyed, done away with completely. Verse 21, "And ye shall trample the wicked, so they shall be ashes under your feet." This is confirmation that consumed by fire really means to be burned up completely, to be destroyed. There will literally be ashes under the feet of the righteous. This does not support the Christian doctrine of burning forever and ever and ever and ever, being tormented in hell, fire. That pagan concept has nothing to do with the Most High God, His chosen people, or His holy scriptures. We have no reason to fear the Christian concept of hell or to submit to the authority of the Christian church. I'll read verse 21 again. "And ye shall trample the wicked, for they shall be ashes under your feet in the day which I appoint." That's judgment day, says the Lord Almighty. In conclusion, the Christian concept of hell is nowhere to be found in the Holy Scriptures, which Christians call the Old Testament. Nowadays, we can study and research these things for ourselves. So it is easy to expose the lies and deception of Christianity. We have no reason to submit to the self-appointed authority of the Christian church or to believe their foolish doctrines. The Christian hell is nothing but a fable, a scare tactic. We must serve the Most High only and keep His commandments because we genuinely love Him, not because we are afraid of burning forever in hell. And with that, I say, Shalom.